Right there.
Oh!
What a gentleman!
There we go.
What? Seriously?
We always knew you had a
Thank you.
heart.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and she did. Oh my God, and we had. Like, what? You didn't know how long that.
I think I just turned this off.
Check. We've lost sound.
Looks like it's gonna be loud then. Okay, so you guys have the questions, we have the answers.
Just like that. So if you have a question, put up your hand and we will happily answer it. And the better the question, the more exciting the answer. I dare you, I'm challenging you to ask a question that has never been asked before. And it can be bizarro. Bizarro, kind of like Katie.
What? I don't even know what you're saying. Yes?
Who is the better Sailor Scout?
Sailor Mars.
Can I have the microphone?
No,
please?
I'm sorry. That's enough time for you. So I don't even know what she's saying.
Personally, I really liked Sailor Moon. I thought she was fantastic in every way, shape, and form. And I will tell you,
Bubblehead.
oh, stop it! You don't even know what you're talking about.
You're just always so crazy. It's always about you, Serena.
All right, so there's our answer. What are we gonna say? Anything else? Are you kidding me? Come on. That's the
Yes.
Porpoise, rum time, hot dogs,
Yes.
the hot dog story.
Hot dog story.
Hot dog story.
Oh, I know what she's talking about. So it's really funny. I know the hot. You're like hot dogs, but I do enjoy eating hot dogs. So I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna tell me where to go eat hot dogs. Awesome. So when we recorded Sailor Moon, we would be in a booth usually by ourselves. Sometimes I'd record with Jupiter because Jupes and Mars always, we played together. And Sailor Moon would go in before us. And Linda would record. I feel like you should be telling this story.
Oh, you're just doing
Right before us. Actually, this is your story.
Well, I could start it.
Okay.
So here's the thing. When you are a voice actor, you don't just talk with your voice and that's it. You talk with your whole body. You have to literally put everything you have into a performance. So I'm not sitting there going, oh, come on, let's do it, or anything like this. I'm going, oh, come on, let's do it, oh my gosh. And I'm just like, hey, look, what was that? Wow. Okay, whatever. Anyways. So, occasionally, when you are pushing as hard as you can possibly push to get a noise out of you, you might say something like, Moon, Cosmic. Oh. Little things might squirt out of your butt. I'm just saying. Take it now, Katie.
So then, right after Linda really recorded in this small, little, tiny, non-ventilated booth, who walks in right after? That'd be me, just to torture me. And it was hot dogs.
pumpkins.
Or pumpkins. Yeah, we don't know. God only knows. I'll never be able to unsmell that. But it was fun. We had a fun time.
Just proving that I'm human.
She is human, sort of.
If Sailor Moon had a crossover with any anime, which one would it be?
Ooh, a crossover with any anime. That's hard.
It is hard.
That's hard. I mean, it would have to be Dragon Ball Z, right? Because they were just like right there, right on the thing. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. So who would I be with Dragon Ball Z? Who would we do the...
Go against Goku.
Goku?
What
Yeah,
about
all right.
Mars?
What about Mars?
Here.
What? Vegeta?
Vegeta? Okay. There
Wait,
we go.
that's that done then.
And also,
Right.
Yeah, we know. Are you kidding? Tuxedo Mask. Who's he? What? He's so romantic.
Oh, God, it's such a meatball head. It's all about Chad. Any other questions? That's it? Okay, so, yes, we have a question. Yes?
Are we ever gonna have any more other people from Sailor Moon come to
Are there going to be any other Sailor Moon actors coming? That is a very good question.
Why would we want anybody
Doesn't
else?
even-
We got the two best.
No, you know what? Sometimes we travel with a whole cast, and sometimes, depending on the size of the convention, there's only a couple of us. Sometimes there's only one of us. It's usually her, whatever. But yeah, so I'm gonna say, hopefully, Texas seems like a pretty good Sailor Moon town. State. So yeah, there's a good chance that you'll meet some other Sailor Scouts.
But not this weekend.
But not this weekend. It's just that you're stuck with us.
No!
No.
We want Mercury!
No, you don't. I didn't even hear. It's weird. I can't hear security. Any other questions? Yes. Oh, okay. You go. Whatever. You're the boss.
Strike first.
Okay, so I know you said you would voice acted Sailor Jupiter. Was there ever a time you guys did voice acting or recorded those lines together?
Yes. Sometimes. Whenever there was a really heavy Mars, Mars and Sailor Moon, I had to think about it. I'm like, Mars and what's her name?
Oh yeah, the one that's the show is named after.
It's so funny, just to digress for 1 second. My dad, they know I go to Comic-Cons all the time. My dad will constantly say, in front of his friends, if I'm there, he'll say, oh yeah, hey, this is my daughter, she plays Sailor Moon. And I'll just look and I'll say, how many years have you known me, Dad?
And then he said to me, one of the first times I met him, oh right, so you were Sailor Mars. And I'm like, oh, poor crazy man.
And he was the supervisor of air traffic control in Toronto at Pearson, so he should know. But anyway, now back to your question. Oh yes, we did record whenever it was a really Ray and Serena heavy episode. When there's fighting, lots of fighting, we would banter together. That was fun.
Like, if I was in the 4 and I knew that there was a fight scene between me and what's her face? No, I didn't mean to.
You're so sweary.
I'm not. I am a little.
We get away with that.
Anyways, if I knew that I was going to be doing a fight scene, then I would say, please, can we just wait till the end, and when Katie comes in, we can do it together, and then we would. And then that would be when the magic would happen. Because they would just sort of say, gibberish, because it's kind of like doing karaoke when you do this show. You've got the words that come up, and you've got to sort of follow along with the bouncing ball, but sometimes they just say gibberish. And so you just got to go, I don't know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And so I knew that was coming up, and I would say, please, can Katie and I do it together? And then we'd have fun.
We had so much fun.
Yeah. In real life, Katie and I hang out a lot.
Yeah, Sailor Besties, for real.
We live right around the corner from each other, and my daughter babysits her sons, and they're going to get married. We've decided because we want to have Christmas dinner together.
And plan a wedding somewhere on an island. And it wouldn't really, we don't even care. It doesn't matter what son that Shay marries. It's fine. Probably Jet, because they're very similar. Anyway, that's just us having silly banter. All right. Any other questions? Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay, we'll come back to you because you've had one and you have not.
So, we have a question.
Okay.
I have one.
Oh, just.
So, do you really like tuxedo mask in real life?
Okay. First of all, there have been 3 tuxedo masks.
Tell me.
So one of them was Vince Carrazza, and I went to theater school with Vince. And Vince, when you go to theater school with someone, you know them way too well. So I know that boy pretty well, and I love Vince. He's actually a very, very, very nice guy. Toby Proctor, on the other hand, he kind of is the Sailor Moon, the Sailor Moon. God,
He is Sailor Moon.
my brain is just mush today. He is like the tuxedo mask that I know that voice. That's Tuxedo Mask, and he is all that. Although Tuxedo Mask is very tall, dark, and handsome. Toby is short, squat, and kind of blondish. Really? What? You're him? He's like, yeah, I am. I'm like, oh God. You're not the man of my dreams. Yes, you are. But then there was the first Tuxedo Mask. Now I do this.
So the funny thing is, when I was younger, before, this was 100 billion years ago when we actually did this, so I was 2. No, but when I was 20, I was doing a lot of on-camera stuff, and the original tuxedo, not the real tuxedo mask, but the original was my boyfriend in real life. So Rita Romano and I were dating, and he was doing a lot of voiceover stuff in Toronto, that's where we're from. And he said, Kate, you have to audition for this. You are so Sailor Mars. You are, and I said, Reno, no, I'm gonna be a star. It's like ridiculous what you're saying. I don't even know anything about voiceover stuff. And he said, but you are Ray. You're training kung fu right now. My hair was really long and super dark, and I was Ray. So I auditioned for it, and that was my very first series, really. And the rest is history, because that's mostly, I sometimes do on-camera Hallmark movies of the week or whatever, but mostly voiceover because of Sailor Mars. But yes, Reno, the original Tuxedo, we're so different.
So here's the thing. That means that originally Mars and Tuxedo Mask were like that. Okay, I got issues with that. I'm just gonna say I got issues. I'm fine, don't worry. Anyways, next question.
Now? Yes. Oh, he's falling. Just stop it.
No, you're crazy. Sailor Moon does not have a British accent, but Luna does.
That's why you're thinking.
And Luna,
Yeah.
Jill Frappier, who is awesome, when she first auditioned, when she first got the part of Luna, they said, we want something somewhere in between Queen Victoria and C-3PO. They seriously did. And that's what she came up with. And that's exactly what she is, if you ask me. Like, I think that's perfect. And she really is all that. Like, she's Luna all the time. We'll go to Comic-Cons together, and if she sees someone walk by with a really short skirt, she'll go, Serena! Oh, really? And they go, and they're so thrilled. She's like, well, your skirt is much too short. That was very funny.
That was a really good Jill. You nailed it. Any other questions? Oh, we've got one. We haven't. We'll come back to you. Yes?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you're already aware that they did the redubbing of the original Dick series from the voice acting.
Whatever.
From it, how do you feel like they portrayed themselves from, like, of course, since you're the original Mars, and of course, you're the second Sailor Moon. How do you feel they portrayed the voice acting in that redubbing, and did they also approach y'all whenever they redubbed it?
No. So here's the deal. I haven't actually personally seen it. I don't know if it's up in Canada, or it probably is, and somehow I haven't seen it. I've seen little bits and pieces. It looks visually beautiful. I've met the actors, a lot of them, and they're all amazing.
Yeah, but he's talking about the redub.
I know. Oh, the redub, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Visually, it's very same.
Oh, the redub. Sorry. Okay. But either way, I met the actors. I haven't really watched it. But what I will say is that I'm super happy that they did do it again. They didn't approach us. We're from Canada. I don't think they would have anyway, because it's been such a long gap, and Viz bought it, so they want their own people, and we totally understand that. But we're happy for the fans because you guys get Sailor Moon again. So I feel like it's all love. Nobody really. I mean, I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but I'm super happy they did it again.
And I'll tell you, one of the things that I really loved about the original one was they were very, very careful to make sure that there's 5 main girls, of course, and they made sure that every single one of them sounded completely different, and they gave them completely different personalities, and they were really careful to do that. There were Katie and Mercury sounded a lot the same at one point at the very beginning, and they made sure that one of them pitched their voice up more, one of them pitched their voice down more, and I think that that's what made the first one even more special, because they really did make them unique. I'm not as sure as that the redub is quite as distinct, yeah, but they've done a great job, and they're lovely people, that's for sure. It's a real catty thing.
You know, in the later series, well, I have 2 questions in one. 2-part question, yeah, basically. Which one was your favorite series out of the Sailor Moon, the different story arcs that they had? And do you feel like in Sailor Moon Stars you should have ended up with Seiya instead of Darien?
Always Darian, come on.
Come on, but you guys had a good chemistry, like you didn't have any doubts.
Oh, Darian's just so romantic. Oh. I loved Uranus and Neptune. I love that story arc. I did. I wish that they hadn't been cousins. I wish that the true story had been told properly in North America, but they didn't feel that North Americans were ready. How dumb is that? Dumb. But anyways, I did love that whole storyline. I thought that was it was a fun one to play, that's for sure.
I liked anything to do with Chad. I felt like Ray was so serious. I'm very similar to Ray in a lot of respects, but I'm also silly and goofy all the time, so I feel that she needed 5% more goofiness, and when Chad was around, he was ridiculous, and they should have ended up together. So whenever there was a little bit of Chad, it was fun for me as an actor because it wasn't just always fighting with Serena and being so serious, and so, I mean, she was still serious with Chad, but it was silly. It was ridiculous. So yeah, all those storylines were pretty good. Or the scene between, when we didn't see any of the scripts ahead of time. So when everybody was dying and it was all emotional and we were just looking, we would watch it as it was happening. I'd be like, what's happening? And we're crying and it was all emotional, so that was a good scene.
That was the story arc.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna just keep her away from this microphone. This is ridiculous. Okay.
Nash, right? How about the very, yeah, my, oh,
Yes, my love. Yes, my perfection love.
stop it.
How do you feel about Magical Good and the Sailor Stars?
Great, now she spit all over the microphone. All your germs are all over me now. But yeah, that's how we feel. We didn't know it was ending. It's so funny, it just became, there were so many episodes, it became just our daily life to go in and record Sailor Moon, that then there would be a hiatus and we knew that was happening, and then all of a sudden a long time passed and we were doing other shows, and then we'd say, oh, that's weird, we haven't gone in for Sailor Moon for a while. And that was just it. Because you don't know when a series is going to go and end and whatever, so yeah, we were all sad. We all wanted to know what was going to happen.
And a little part of you gets taken away, right, when they stop recording. And you don't know it, you don't see it coming, you're like, what, why haven't they called? I'm ready to go in. Why, I'll go in next week. Why don't I go in next week? Yeah, it's all done, Linda. What do you mean it's all done? What am I supposed to do now? And then it's just gone. And then, I don't know, 15, almost 20 years later, suddenly Comic-Cons come out. Yes. And suddenly that brings the characters all back to you. And your little babies are back in your heart. And you're like, I'm so happy right now. So coming to Comic-Cons is like one of our favorite things. Because we love getting to meet all the fans. We love getting to hear all the stories. Because every story is completely unique. Why it touched someone in one way and somebody else in another. And watching people, you know, showing us their best friend. And the stories are really overwhelming, really, really overwhelming, and really, really beautiful. And I just love it. That's all there is to it.
I know you guys said you won't report, but did you guys ever hang out like together as a crew, like all the Sailor Scouts? And was there also
Oh, all of us?
personalities at work each other from?
Well, we've worked together a lot, most of us, for 25 years, since Sailor Moon. And during the Sailor Moon time, I would work with Susan a lot, I'd work with you. We would all work together, but Linda and I, personally, as soon as Comic-Con started, we became best friends. We're just like, we see each other a lot. Like, too much. Too much, some would say. But I feel like, so we became best friends when Comic-Con started, but as far as hanging out together socially, we worked together more. We were all really super friendly with one another. Karen, Sailor Mercury, became an agent. So we see her because she's in our neighborhood. Funny story, just to digress. This is what I do, I just ramble. I could just sit here all day and ramble. But I came out of my house, and Toronto is a big place, and there's Karen. And she works right beside my house. She's worked there for years. And I said, what are you doing here? And she said, I work here. How random is that? So weird, yeah.
And I was driving my car along the road one day in Toronto, and I'm just driving along, and I look over and I go, oh, on that bike, that person on the bike, that's Karen Bernstein. That's my little Sailor Mercury right there, right beside me. And I get up right beside her and I go, bah, bah, bah. Scared the Jesus out of her. And she's like, ooh. And she looks over and I'm like, And she goes, oh, Linda, hi. She's exactly like her character. I love her. Yes. Next.
That's it.
Wait,
Oh, we got one. We got one.
There's a lot of seasons, there's a lot of villains and monsters. Did you guys voice any of them by any chance?
I begged. Did we voice any of the villains? I begged, because I love playing villains. In animated shows, there's nothing better than villains because they never ever win. They're always so evil, they think they're the greatest person in the entire world. It's kind of a lot like Katie, actually. See, it's just like that. Anyways, I begged. I was like, please, can I be a villain? Please. I know you're looking for people. I could be a villain too. And they're like, Linda, you already have too many lines. No, you're already Sailor Moon. And I was like, fine. So I did not play any villains at all.
But we totally would have. Villains are so fun, and Sailor Moon villains were really, really fun.
Bizarre.
I would have been Zoisite if I could have. Best.
I would have been Beryl.
Yeah, she would have been Beryl. Yes, she would have.
Are those your
I think so. I think so, and it not our favorite. Yeah, I think it would be because that's who I'd want to play. So yes, I'm going to say yes. All right, yes.
Did you play villains in other anime shows?
Yes. Oh, animation.
And
Oh, yes.
I haven't played any villains in anime shows. I was in, you won't remember this because I feel like everybody's too young, but there was a show called Braceface. Anyone?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I was Mina Harper. She wasn't very nice, but she was so fun. She was a very mean girl.
I was Kazarina in Bakugan, and she was an evil woman. And there was a little boy that lived down the street from me. And he would come over, his sister was one of my daughter's best friends. So he would come over to pick up his sister when they had a play date. And he'd come in and go, hello, Linda. Or should I say, Kazarina? And I would just go, yeah. And that was it. And he'd lose his mind, and now he's just off, and then he'd run all over my house. As soon as I went, yes, he'd just go, bouncing all over every bit of furniture I had. That kid was just a crazy kid, but I loved him. Wait.
Serena is finding all the villains at Sailor Moon. Why is she still scared?
Because she's a meatball head. That's why.
What are you calling a meatball head?
I'm calling you a meatball head.
Oh, you know
Of course she's scared. She's human. That was the best part about her, man. She's human. She's got flaws, man.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that was the best part. Of course she's gonna be scared. Who wouldn't be scared? Man.
I'll tell you who wouldn't be scared. I'll tell you who wouldn't. Thor. Anytime I can, yeah, I know. Every time I say something, it does echo. I feel like, yeah. Are you serious? So people are shopping right now? Is everybody having a good time shopping? That is so funny. So right now, I feel like we should be singing. You totally, I feel like you already swore. You're such a sweary.
You're allowed to.
Yeah, and then that's it. Security. Yes?
Okay, so I know like a lot of people say that's like, oh, that the Sailor Scouts like sang like the intro like